Hi everyone, good morning. My name is José Almeida. I'm the marketing manager of Betano Portugal. Betano Portugal is part of Kaizen Gaming company, which is a Greek company. But even before jumping on to the presentation, I would like to thank Nova and specifically the football department for the invitation, for having Betano as their main sponsor, and especially for putting up this conference, which I believe it's a very important statement and a very important conference for nowadays. So I will be presenting a very small case of one of the marketing initiatives that we have done at Betano here in Portugal. And first of all, I would like to speak to you a little bit about this. Okay, connecting with fans. Kaizen Gaming, who we are. So basically, as I've previously mentioned, we have two brands, Stickyman and Betano. Basically, Stickyman is the Greek brand, and it's present on Greece and Cyprus. And then we have Betano that is present on another 4 countries, namely Portugal, Germany, Romania, and more recently Brazil, with plans in 2021 to take over, let's put it like this, 2 new markets. We have been getting some international awards. I'm not going to deep dive into that. Some figures. We're quite a new company. The average age of our employees is 32. That number actually is outdated, so we are now more than 900 employees across the world. We have almost 700 active players within the world, which is quite amazing when you think that almost 1 million people have or are entertained by our services, and some other figures on the operation itself. The fact that we have, for instance, over 500 sporting events being offered on our platform, about half of them being live streamed, which is a key USP for any sportsbook operator. We are also handling almost 250,000 financial transactions per year and over 3 million communications with our players, either by SMS or newsletter. When it comes to the sportsbook operation, we do have sportsbook and casino. I thought it didn't make that much sense to be showing you some figures about our casino operation. Basically, the most interesting and important part here is that, as the professor was actually mentioning, technology is a key step for any sports stakeholder nowadays, especially for us as an e-commerce company. And basically, one of the main steps that we took in the most recent years was to have our own platform. So our platform is in-house, was built in-house, and that gives us much more flexibility, but also being able to be on the top of our game. As you can surely imagine, gambling, sports betting is a very competitive industry, and therefore you either are on top or you get lost in the middle and you're just another one. That's what has been making the difference for the Kaizen Gaming company in the last few years. So, once again, over 500 events we have been growing, as these figures on the bottom can clearly show. And one of the main assets that we have as a brand is sponsorships. So we feel that for us to enter in any market and to have a connection with our customers, sponsorships is a key thing. I have just put up a few of them, so these are not all. It's quite amazing. But we have Atlético Mineiro in Brazil, we have Universitatea Craiova and FCCB in Romania, we have Apollon Limassol in Cyprus, we have Olympiacos and PAOK in Greece. As I guess you know, we have Braga and Marítimo here in Portugal, and we also sponsor the basketball, the Greek Basketball League. Basketball is not such a key sport for the Portuguese audience, but surely is for the Greek one. More than that, we also have some other sponsorships, namely the national team of polo or Olympic athletes, like those three people that you see on the top right, which are actually Olympic medalists. So, as I was saying, connecting with fans is key for us, especially because we are a brand that is purely digital. You don't get to try it. We're not a commodity, so to speak. Having said that, we use somehow sponsorships as a key factor to connect with the fans. However, we had, sorry, let me take a step back. As I was saying, one of our main initiatives is to connect with the fans and therefore being close to their heart and mind and using sponsorships as a main vehicle to do so. However, we had a problem. I think everyone had the same problem in our lives, affecting us differently. But for us, as a sports betting brand, and for fans specifically, this was the problem. I think the image is quite self-explanatory, but basically, COVID changed everything. So not only people's attention was deviated to other matters, everyone was concerned about sanitary and health issues, and not so much about how their team was performing. But moreover, when it comes to the fans, to the sports fans, but especially the football fans, the environment changed dramatically. Basically, all the things that we did or were used to do, watching the game with our friends and family, or going to a restaurant and watch the game, going to the stadium, even staying outside the stadium and having a few drinks, waiting for the game, everything pretty much changed. So the main issue was that fans were not part of the action. And we, as a sponsor of two of the main clubs here in Portugal, thought about trying to find a solution to connect with the fans of both Braga and Marítimo. So basically, we have created this award. It was an idea from a colleague of mine that it's actually sitting right there. But basically, we have created this award. We called it Betano Man of the Match, with a very simple mechanic. Nothing more than having our clubs, or the sponsored clubs, asking the fans who they thought it was the man of the match. The fans voted. The next day, we had a video with a small declaration from a small quote from the player and a physical award that was given to him. So what was the logic behind this mechanic was to basically increase our exposure as a brand in the club's social media channels, but also for the fans to see us as the main sponsor, to see our brand as the vehicle between the club, them, and the club, which was basically broken. So we have found a few KPIs that could somehow evaluate the success of this initiative. Of course, I believe, to be honest, that the main things that came out of this were a little bit hard to measure. We're talking about emotional aspects, the relationship that the fans have with the club, and especially with the brand that sponsors their club. So main KPIs, these are nothing more than usual things on an initiative that lives on social media. We're talking about reach, engagement, and in this case, because of that small and last part of the video, we're also talking about video views. When it comes to reach, we have managed to reach about 500,000 users with this content. And basically, in the sum of the 3 months, it goes up to 1.5 million, especially on Facebook. And I'm going to explain you, I was going to say that I could explain you why afterwards, but because there are some deviations on the numbers that are explained by some things. For instance, the fact that Facebook had such high rates of reach is because it really depends on the player that wins the award. So if we're talking about a player that comes from any Arabic country, for instance, they mostly use Facebook, and they are very keen into interacting with any content that has their favorite players. So when it comes to engagement, we have over 100,000 interactions with content, either by liking, sharing, or commenting. And we had pretty much 2.5% engagement rates on the content, which is pretty good for social media content. When it comes to video views, we had over 50,000 video views in this period, which were mainly driven by Facebook. As you can see, you could ask me, why are there no Instagram views on February? Well, there are a few particularities about this initiative that we have to deal as a brand, and we have to understand how we should position ourselves when it comes to that. And it's something that you will learn, I guess, if you end up working for a football club. We are forced to deal, and it's perfectly understandable, with the do's and don'ts of special moments of the season. And that is why that football and sports betting is such a lovely business, an outstanding business. It's because we basically are forced to change and adapt to the circumstances. And in this case, for instance, there were some clubs that, due to the results or something similar, didn't want to make a post, which is perfectly understandable from our end. And it's up to us as a brand and as a sponsor to respect and find alternatives. So when it comes to the outcome, and now that we have seen the main KPIs of this initiative, basically it's quite priceless, because we have an organic content that was being tied emotionally to the fans, to the club's fans, and by a very small price. Our investment as a brand, and it's not if we can do it or not, but our investment as a brand was quite small. It has to do with the design of the awards, the shipping of the awards, and the production. As simple as that. And in the end, we have managed to have highly engaging content that was fulfilling our main objective with this initiative, which was pretty clearly to be the vehicle between the club and the fans in such a specific period of our lives. So this is pretty much what I had to show you. We have, this was pretty much what I had to show you. It's a small case from Betano here in Portugal. We do a lot of other stuff. I thought this was an interesting one and connected with the subject of this conference. And all I have left is, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer you. I will be in the audience, and you can ask me directly. I wish all the best to the football team and to the rest of the conference, and that is all. As a quick side note, I will be your colleague also starting in October, so we'll see you around. Thank you.